3.
And welcome to the podcast, welcome to the vodcast, welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean.
I'm Brian.
When you talk. There you go.
That's okay. I'm Brian. And we have a special extra idiot this evening here, my brothers. So I'd like to introduce the illustrious Scott Detra, who is my, Scott is my first cousin. Yes.
Scott, look at him bringing Look at Brian bringing the SAT words in here.
Yeah, look at that.
Scott, I hope you go through life from this moment on just having people know you as the illustrious Scott. I hope that carries over.
It could stick. So Scott is my first cousin. So Scott and I and his younger brother Adam all share same grandparents. So Scott's father is my mother's younger brother. So my favorite uncle Gene is his dad, and his lovely wife, my Aunt Corky. So Scott and Adam, hung out with them a lot of holidays throughout the years and talked a lot of superheroes, a lot of comics, a lot of pop culture throughout time. And we had a terrific family event a couple weekends ago where his younger brother Adam renewed vows. I mentioned on the show to his lovely bride, Jess. And so we were talking afterwards, and expressed some interest in joining us, and here we are. So Scott, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Scott, when were you born? Was it 86, 87? Are you technically a millennial as well, or
87? So yep, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You're 1 year older than me then. All right, cool.
Well, at least one of the millennials got to introduce themselves.
That's true.
Since Brian skipped over Nick's introduction there.
No, we did. We hadn't skipped Nick yet, so we.
We're still getting him. Okay, we're
still getting to him.
My apologies. All right,
we're still getting to him.
One millennial at a time. Everybody's so damn self-entitled. One at a time.
So, Scott, anything else you want to mention about yourself? Floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
Having me on.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you. I am fellow millennial Nick, and if this is your first time joining us, Dean is very mean to me, and hopefully you have found us already. But if you have not, you can go ahead and find us on Facebook and YouTube by searching for Convincing Idiots. We're also found on Twitter at Convincing Idiot with no S. We're on TikTok at Convincing Idiots. We're on Instagram at Convincing_Idiots. And we can also be reached via email, and that's at convincingidiots@gmail.com. We're available wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. So just ask your Home Assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast, and hopefully they will bring you to us. So here we are, gentlemen, another episode. We're the three friends together, plus Scott.
So we'll get into let's get into what we want to do. Let's do Doctor Strange versus Thor first.
Stay in your lane, idiots.
Okay. Yeah, how about that? Okay. So we're not going to go into stats in depth or anything like that. I think most people know who these two heroes are. Mm-hmm. We know that Doctor Strange is the master of the mystic arts, he's the most powerful sorcerer in the Marvel Universe. We know Thor is the god of thunder, can wield lightning and storm. Not storm, but lightning at least. He has his hammer,
Mjolnir. Yes.
Mjolnir. Super strength. All of that. Doctor Strange, of course, is normal mortal, but he has the all the incredible sorcery powers.
The supreme, if you will.
That's correct. So really comes down to that. Certainly in a hand-to-hand situation, no way in the world would Doctor Strange even remotely compete with Thor. He would have to rely on his mystical abilities. So are those enough to defeat the god of thunder? Is really what it comes down to for me. So, Dean, what do you think? Any opinions you have initially? Go ahead.
My initial opinions, actually, I'm going to start this out by saying, before each of us goes and gives our opinion, I would like to start with giving your opinion on what you would like a kick-ass nickname to be. The God of Thunder or Sorcerer Supreme. I think that's I think I'd go Sorcerer Supreme for me. Well, I do things a lot of things very quickly, so I think it just would make more sense.
I gotcha. I would say, and Brian may echo this sentiment, but maybe it comes from also having an affinity for Kiss. But God of Thunder is a pretty badass name. I think I'd probably go with that.
It is badass, and I think that's also that I'm not as badass. I don't think I could carry that moniker. Yeah, I'm not cool enough to go with God of Thunder.
Yes.
So, okay, so in this fight, it's going to be very simple for me. I see Doctor Strange. Whatever
I can't wait for you to give us your opinion because it's definitely going to do a lot to form mine. So
you're going to go first next time, you son of a. He's going to be able to. I think the sorcery and the magic, the space magic. I can see it defeating Thor as in portals. Just you throw the big dumb hammer at him, he's going to open a portal, it goes away. He can put Thor into a portal and send him here, send him anywhere. That's really a fight with anybody. And that's just one of the spell tricks things that he has is the portals and that's really all you need. If he's quick enough to do it, I think that would. Because like we said earlier, we're not looking to kill each other. They're looking to incapacitate and render the other one beaten. So I think in that, I think once you send somebody bye-bye to another land, you win by default. So I am going with the Sorcerer Supreme.
Brian, I have a question for the stat man.
Sure.
Could Doctor Strange's portals be affected by weather or inclement wind conditions, or
if you watch the goddamn movie you'd know
things like that? The Doctor Strange one? Okay. Well, I don't think
I don't know that I don't think that the portal itself would be affected by the weather. Now, him as a man trying to conjure up a spell or something, perhaps, but he can also protect himself with other spells.
He'd have a magic umbrella over him.
Yeah, I mean, he could conjure up some type of a shield for himself.
Oh yeah, there you go. The cape could protect him and be the umbrella.
Okay,
sure. Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah. So, short answer, I don't think that the weather would necessarily be would impact the ability to make a portal or not, or the portal would be impacted necessarily.
Okay,
just my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Well, as much as I would love to really dig deep here and argue back and forth with Dean with made up scenarios of what these guys could do, ultimately, so we know Thor is very strong, right? Loki was more of the brain, and Thor was more of the brawn. Thor was bested by Loki sometimes with some of his trickery and things like that, things of that nature. So I actually am going to have to probably for the first time agree with Dean. I think that Doctor Strange's majestic abilities might be too much for Thor, even though he is definitely stronger. And as you mentioned, Brian, hand-to-hand combat, it's a no contest. Obviously, Thor pummels him. But I don't know. I think Thor may be easy to manipulate. Thor's, as we've already talked about in, I think, the first round, how easily mentally beaten Thor could be or defeated, like we saw in Infinity War and things like that, and or Endgame rather, when he took it so hard that he couldn't defeat Thanos, and his troubles in the past with Loki and being confused by things that he does. So I would probably have to lean towards Doctor Strange. So Scott, what say you? What are you thinking?
I'm actually I gotta go with Doctor Strange as well. Yeah, no one's mentioned was it the Eye of Agamotto or whatever with the time stone in it? So, I mean, you travel through time. You could pull the scenario where he did at the what was the first? Infinity Wars, where he plays out all the scenarios in which the fight would happen between him and Thor.
He knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I would have to say Doctor Strange as well.
Okay. All right.
Brian,
what do you and Peyton think?
Go ahead, Scott.
I didn't get to answer the nickname question.
Oh yes.
When you asked it, I went back to Ragnarok, the movie, when Odin asks him, "What are you, the god of hammers?"
That's a good one. Hammer God's a great one.
Hammer God is good.
When you asked that question, it's immediately what I thought.
Yeah. There you go. Hammer God's good.
Actually, that is the one I would rather have. Hammer God's a good one.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ahead of time, again, like you're right. And so again, the heroes have time to prepare. They know who they're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange is upwards of it. He's a genius level intellect. Thor's pretty smart, and he's got tactical ability and all of that. But like you said, Scott, I mean, Doctor Strange could literally sit down and map out all the scenarios and what he could do to defeat Thor. We're not looking to kill each other. He's just looking to simply win a fight. So, between a combination of that ability plus, like you guys have already said, I mean, he can, he has the ability to banish people to other portals very quickly. And Thor doesn't have, he's got super strength, certainly. He doesn't have super speed or anything like that. So he can make it tougher for Doctor Strange to maybe make a spell and maneuver things, but Doctor Strange could also put him in some type of a binding, spell to make it impossible for him to pick up a hammer and throw it, or to wield lightning, perhaps, and everything.
Or at the very least, bind him in order to do another spell.
Exactly. Exactly right. As a matter of fact, one of the comics series. So I looked up. You could look up any of these online, but CBR, comic book news, CBN, excuse me. They have CBR, comicbookreview.com, CBR.com. They have so many scenarios, and they kind of map out who would win in their opinion. And that was one of the things that they mentioned. Doctor Strange could do that binding spell while he figured out something else to do with Thor to incapacitate him. So, yeah, all things considered, I think that Doctor Strange is too powerful for Thor. I think it would take someone of other mystical type abilities to compete with Doctor Strange. So he's going to be a tough one to defeat in this bracket. And for what it is worth, Peyton also believes that Doctor Strange would have defeated Thor. Wow. That was her opinion. So
clean sweep.
Clean
sweep.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Well, what you'd said that it's going to take another mystical powers to beat him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only other person out there, who did Wanda get beat by? Do you have it in front of you?
It's Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
that's who won against.
Yeah. That's what we said. That was a tough random bracket pull for Wanda, was to go against Doctor Strange, and we thought that both of those could have went very far in the bracket if they were able to. Yeah. Yeah, you might have slept through that.
You checked out in episode 3, so
yeah, that's true.
That's okay. That's okay, Nick. So we were talking on Friday at the bar, Nick. And talking about TV shows and stuff like that. And this is 100%. Dean's like, what we should do? We should do an episode on best TV finales. And I'm like, we did that in November.
That is a good idea. Yeah,
it is a good idea.
Yeah,
yeah. And it reminds him of a couple he picked, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now."
That sounds like something November. I would have done.
Yeah, they all blend together after a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
You know what they say? Time blurs when you're having fun.
That's true. Mm-hmm. And I can't be tasked with paying attention to all this stuff. Come on.
Right. All right. Okay. So the next lineup is pretty good one here. Spider-Man.
Let me mark my little W next to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, get that tracked.
Got the other W.
So, by the way, who will Doctor Strange have to fight next, Nick?
Well, that'll depend on what we're about to talk about next.
Aha.
Do you
So
even
it's the
remember,
winner? Okay.
Nick? Do you
Winner
even
of
remember
these.
how to write a W?
Fuck off. No. Been a whole week.
Oh, man. Okay, so Spider-Man versus Batman. So, interesting matchup.
I guess.
Certainly. Yeah.
I've never been so proud of myself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was good.
We all know these heroes. Spider-Man has abilities of a spider, fast reflexes, spider sense. He can shoot webbing that he's created.
Not exactly a
rich
superpower,
guy in his pajamas.
Well, but but also Peter Parker. Interesting here. It's we talked about Batman being a genius level intellect. Well, so is Peter Parker. So Peter Parker, he's a genius. He's very scientific minded. He created his own web shooter devices and the fluid and other devices over time. He
also had a nursery rhyme written about him about picking picks a peck of peppers. Am I right on that?
I think that was Peter Piper, I believe.
Oh,
I
get those two mixed up all the time. I'm sorry. Go on, Brian.
And then Bruce Wayne.
Good thing you don't come here for the jokes, Scott. That's all I can say. It's a good thing you don't.
He doesn't come for jokes at any family event either. That's for sure. Anyway, so we know Batman, Bruce Wayne had no super strength, but he's also maybe super genius level intellect in the DC universe. He's probably like the Tony Stark level minded person in the DC universe, if I may. So he's built tons of awesome technological devices and weapons. He's got his batarangs. He's got He's trained in martial arts. I think I read he knows like 120 some different types of martial. So in hand-to-hand combat, he's very, very difficult to defeat. Again, although he is just normal strength, mortal man, but still he would be hard to beat in hand-to-hand combat anyway.
And he really misses his parents.
Well, he misses his parents for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, and Pete really misses his uncle. That's right. Talk about that.
Yeah, they definitely kind of share that a little bit. And they understand the great power.
His uncle's name wasn't Martha, was it? Because the fight's over then.
Yeah.
What did you say your uncle's name was? Martha? Uncle Martha.
Absolutely one of the worst movie moments in superhero movie history.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Godzilla and King Kong did it so much better.
Barely. But Batman in the comics has built stuff to defeat other heroes. He's beaten Superman in the movies and the comics as well with it. So to me, my opinion kind of comes down to some of that. So can Batman can he study Spider-Man enough to maybe build enhancements or different types of weapons to fight him and overcome his abilities and his spider sense and whatnot and webbing? Can he do some of that? Or, on the other hand, Peter Parker obviously has super quick reflexes. He's almost impossible to lay a hand on in the Marvel universe. So can Batman even touch him physically? Maybe not very likely. And Peter Parker, again, also genius level intellect. Could he figure out something? Perhaps can he outsmart Batman and some of his planning ahead of time? Not really sure. So here we are. So why don't we start with Scott this time? Scott, any initial opinions? Now, we could talk for a little bit, too. If you guys don't have an answer yet, if you guys want to talk a little bit, we certainly could do that. You don't need to give an immediate answer if you don't want to. So just what are your initial thoughts, sir?
I'm Batman all day.
Why is that?
Well, it's, Peter Parker is very book smart. Bruce Wayne is more tactically smart. So if he has the time to plan for Spider-Man and he's got the money, he's going to be able to come up with something. The other thing is, he talked about it's not a fight to the death. It's just who can beat up who, basically. And Batman's got that that killer instinct of doing just, or going far enough, but not all the way, I guess, to killing someone. He's used to that, just beating the crap out of somebody.
Yeah.
And so I'm a Batman.
Okay. Nick, what do you think?
Okay.
I'm listening.
I think I really want to pet Scott's cat. I think that's what was that a cat?
Yes.
Was it a cat? I heard somebody meowing.
Yep.
I want to pet the cat.
Sorry.
Also, no,
That's
you're
all right.
good. I also think that so they're pretty even as far as intellect, like Scott mentioned. Peter Parker with the book smarts. Bruce Wayne might be a little more tactically smart in the hand-to-hand combat. Something that gives Spider-Man an edge to me is the fact that he does have superhuman abilities there. They're both intelligent. Peter Parker does have some special abilities as to where Batman is very well trained in martial arts. So here's how I see it playing out in my head. You guys are familiar with the hulky, shrinky ray that Wayne Enterprises created. So I think because Spider-Man is so quick, right? That was the thing that got him the win over Wolverine, was he was so fucking fast. And so I think the main problem that Batman would have would be the speed of Spider-Man. So I think, given time to prepare, Batman comes up with the Spidey Slowy ray, the Spidey slow-mo ray. Okay, Spidey Slowy or Spidey slow-mo? What do we like, Dean? What one sounds better to you? Which one do you like?
We
Wayne
named
Enterprises
we named this podcast after you.
Because I'm convincing you. Okay, so Bruce Wayne comes up with the Spidey slow-mo ray. Okay, slows Spidey down. But right before he can get to it, Spider-Man has created a special web that is like reverse, and it like throws it on Batman. And now Batman is in slow motion. What do you think of that? What say you to that?
How
So you're going with?
How much slower could the old guy have gone?
He does martial arts. He's quick. He's got to be quick, or at least positionally smart. Or maybe Pete can't hit him with the web because.
Did you say that name?
Maybe, even if he does hit him with it, because Batman is so tactically smart that he might not even have to move quickly, but just like, when you're like in a sport, like you don't necessarily have to be the fastest one, but you just have to know how to play your position. You have to be in position. Maybe he's in position to counterattack. I don't know. I say all that ridiculousness to say that
he doesn't know.
I don't know. It's pretty close. I'm kind of leaning towards Spider-Man just because of the speed and the special abilities, and the fact Peter Parker is he's a kid, so maybe he would be a little more rattled by someone as experienced and like a grizzled vet like Bruce Wayne, like Batman. But I just think
he's got the stamina.
They're close in intellect. If Peter Parker was just some kid with special abilities, I would probably have to give it to Batman. But because Peter Parker is no dummy, I think I would have to give him a better shot against Batman. I'm kind of leaning towards Spider-Man, but I'm still open to changing my mind if anyone can do so. So, Dean or Brian, whoever, take the floor.
Brian, go ahead.
Dean. Okay.
You guys are so nice.
On the count of 3, Brian. Okay, so both of these gentlemen have... I'm sorry. Gentlemen and Nick both have said that... they both said everything you can about this fight, about the tactics, their strengths, their weaknesses. So let me paint you a quick
And the
picture.
shrinky rays and the slow-mo rays.
And the shrinky rays and the slow-mo rays. So let me paint you a picture. Here's how it goes. Batman climbs out of his Batmobile. He's old, so it's going to take him a second. So he gets out of the Batmobile. Spider-Man will swing down from up high with his webs, and he will shoot the web, and pin him up against said Batmobile. Pin his arms. And since, yes, he's human and he has absolutely no superpowers whatsoever in this world, Batman cannot now get out. So then Spider-Man will take his 2 little spider fingers and put it in his mandible. And he will pull it down, and he will take the other hand of web and spray web down his throat.
Like, I knew it was going to get sexy. I knew it. As soon as you said he was pinned up against the Batmobile, helpless and quivering, I knew it was going somewhere like that.
If that's what does it, yes. But he's going to spray it, and it's going to come out of his nose, and he's done for. And then he's going to rip off the mask just for fun, and I don't know. He will hold it up in declaring in the name of Superman or something like that.
I feel, Dean, you're angry. I feel maybe like
what gave you the idea?
Feel that Spider-Man represents your youth and Batman represents your present, and you're just mad. You said he was going to take him a while to get out of his car, and I think you just got some stuff going on. I'm here to talk if you need to.
I would be so fucking pissed at that comment if it wasn't so true.
I like the scenarios. Brian, go ahead.
Brian, what say you?
Well, so you're assuming that Batman he would not be prepared at all against Spider-Man's webbing. So,
right.
Hold
on, real quick before, because I know what you're about to say about the preparedness. Nick, can we go back for a second and see who Spider-Man has beaten?
Spider-Man beat Wolverine.
And who before that?
That's it. That's as far as we are in this thing. This is only the second round.
Okay. If he beat Wolverine, so he's going to be able to beat the brute strength. He's going to be able to overpower that. And with his speed, which is going to obviously overtake brute strength, given who he already beat. Somebody that was immortal and that can cut through anything and that can't be hurt, and Spider-Man beat him. So
I'd still like to hear what Brian has to say.
I'm just giving more opinions and such, so okay. Brian can make an educated and well thought decision.
Well, I would say Batman would definitely study up on the webbing, so he would be prepared at least the best that he could. He would know Spider-Man has webs, and he's going to have to contend with them. Spider-Man's too fast to not get hit with the webbing, almost certainly. I mean, he'll dodge
duster.
Yeah, he'll dodge a few certainly, but Batman's going to get hit with webbing. So, will Batman be able to come up with something to, overtake the webbing? I don't know what that would be. It might be a special type of armor. It might be a special type of chemical. I'm not sure, but Batman, I think, would figure something out with the webbing. He probably would be prepared with something in his gloves. I mean, his batarangs are super sharp. I've read his batarangs can even cut through concrete and stuff. Are they sharp enough to beat Spider-Man's webbing? I'm not sure. I mean, his webbing is very, very strong.
Would they be as sharp as, say, Wolverine claws?
Well, we talked about that too. Could Wolverine pop the claw? But see, we said Wolverine, if he was stuck in his position, his claws would only do so much because it's, And
there you have it.
But again, Batman's got time to prepare, and Batman's got his whole arsenal of things that he may come up with. So I think Batman would contend with the webbing. That's what I think. But that comes over to some of this other stuff you guys are talking about. Now you're getting more into hand-to-hand type stuff. And again,
I love hand stuff.
If you're fighting, fighting hand-to-hand, Batman's going to, even as fast as Spider-Man is, he's probably going to lay a few punches on Spider-Man. But again, it's not. It may stun him. Peter Parker is mortal, and you mentioned, Nick, this is kind of the younger kid Spider-Man, not the more adult Spider-Man. So I didn't really think about what age that Spider-Man is fighting him.
You say Peter Parker is just mortal. but he does have super strength.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does have
Yes, he
superpower abilities. He's
He
just
does.
not immortal.
That's correct. He's got superpower, but he's got super stamina, super strength, and Spider-Man doesn't look it physically, but he is one of the stronger Marvel heroes outright. He can lift several tons. There's scenes where he's lifting a tank in the comics, which is 50 tons. And, Batman certainly can't. He's not anywhere near that level of strength. So now you're getting into, is Spider-Man
Cheap
quick
fucker
enough?
can't even pick up a check.
Yeah, right. Is he quick enough to get past Bruce Wayne and lay some punches on him to do some damage? Would Batman be prepared with armor and things there too? Not exactly sure. Peter Parker can overcome all kinds of tactical preparation because of his spider sense and all that. So to me, it's a pretty close battle. But if you're getting into, again, this is tough for me because Spider-Man is one of my favorite heroes outright. Just the experience and overall preparation, if Batman has time to prepare. Now, if you just walk up out of nowhere and these two fight with what they got, Spider-Man probably wins that fight. Okay. But with the preparation of Bruce Wayne and the genius level intellect that he has, I think he finds a way to overcome the webbing. I think he finds a way, even though Spider-Man is almost impossible to see, I think he finds a way to predict somehow his movement. He does something, he throws something, he stuns Peter Parker just enough to win in a battle. So that's what I got. I'm going with the tactical intelligence of Batman to very, very closely, just enough defeat Spider-Man. That's what I got.
All right. Well, I'm convinced. Actually, you're right. Probably Batman. So I'm switching, just to make Dean mad. No, I'm just
There
kidding.
you go.
No, I'm gonna. No, I want to. I will. We'll go to the tiebreaker here. I will stick with my Spider-Man vote. This, like you said, Brian, this is a tough one because these are my two favorite heroes of their respective of the two comic superpowers there. So it's kind of tough, but. Yeah. So, all right. So if we're thinking 2 Batman, 2 Spider-Man, what says Peyton? What did she think?
Can I make one more point quick?
Yes,
Go
Scott.
ahead, Scott.
Wait. He can still move me. Hold on. He can still move.
Let's hear it.
No one's brought up, Batman has all this technology that he has control of, but so does Alfred. So if Batman is slung up against the car, like in Dean's scenario,
getting webbed in the mouth down his throat or whatever.
Before we get to that, but maybe Batman has come up with some robot or something in the Batmobile that Alfred can maneuver out there to cut off the webbing.
So you're saying he could cheat?
That's not cheating.
That's not cheating.
To have somebody else in the fight, of course.
Not if it's a robot that's controlled by someone else.
If there's a boxing match and somebody's trainer just throws something in to distract somebody else, the referee will go, you're not allowed to do that because that's cheating.
Part of Batman, though.
It's true.
Like Alfred's part of the communication. He's checking satellites and stuff, telling Batman what's going on.
Alfred is kind of his superpower, in a sense. You could argue.
Okay, in that case, let's go back to the Superman one, and he has Super Dog, Crypto, to bite everybody in the fucking dick while he super punches them in the face. Bracket over.
He's not there.
Martian Manhunter, though, not so much because
you're a son of a bitch.
He's transparent and he can go right through him. That dog's never going to get a hold of his dick. No way.
No, we're talking.
Not yours, at least.
we're talking that in the you have your full arsenal available to you that you normally have. Mm-hmm. So that's part of this as well. Now, Peter Parker would probably, you could argue too that he may come up with some other devices with what he has available to him to maybe contend with Batman a little bit, maybe to stun him. Peter Parker has come up with, he's got the light, he's got different devices, he's got spider tracers. Peter Parker's come up with some things to help him for sure, but also he's also a teenage kid in this world. and he only has so many resources available to him. So he would just simply not have enough as far as that's concerned. Batman, full arsenal. He's got all his stuff, and to Scott's point, he's got Alfred around. That's very common in the comics. That's not a surprise. Would he use him to help prepare for a battle? You could certainly make that argument. So,
Nick.
Yep. Do you change your mind, Nick? Or are you sticking with Spidey? Or are we going with
Have you been convinced?
What if the ultimate tiebreaker was, what if they come to a dead even draw and Robin and Aunt May have to fight each other?
Fight or fuck?
Which Robin?
In my mind, Chris O'Donnell is Robin. So Chris O'Donnell, Batman Forever / Batman and Robin. We're gonna forget about Batman and Robin. Batman Forever, Robin. I think I'm still gonna stick with Spidey. I would love to see Dean angry, but I feel like I still lean towards Spider-Man a little bit there.
Well, there is
those are great
there's a
arguments.
tiebreaker.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys have Spider-Man, and Scott and I have Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Brian, please open the patent envelope, please.
All right, and talking about it at dinner this evening, Peyton's opinion was that the Amazing Spider-Man would defeat Batman.
Oh.
For some of the reasons that we talked about here. So,
alrighty.
There you
again,
go.
Peyton has watched. She has watched the original Spider-Man movies with her father. Me, growing up, like I said, she does have a educated opinion.
She is well versed.
So there you have it. So
yep.
Very,
Peyton,
very intelligent.
Your tiebreaker has given the edge to the Amazing Spider-Man over Batman in a very close battle. So
here it comes down. The final battle
of this
the sorcerers. What?
There's the other half of the bracket, bro.
Oh, god damn it.
This is like the Western Conference Finals right now. They've got the winner of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange will have to take on the winner of your boy Martian Manhunter and the Flash.
So we have Martian Manhunter versus the Flash.
Yep.
Is another, and then we have Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yep. Okay. All right. And then what's the other battles that we have to do yet in round 2?
That's it. That's it. That concludes round
game.
2. See, it moves faster.
Four.
It rolls faster once you knock them out 2 at a time like that.
Final 4.
Yeah, okay. There it is.
Yes. All right. Very good. So it's getting more and more interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At least something on this show was.
Scott was interesting.
That's true. Scott, you were very interesting.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah. Scott's opinion was better than the shrinky Ray and the slow down Ray. That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I thought we were using our imaginations. I'm sorry. When did we all get so jaded and become adults that didn't have imagination? We're suppressing our imaginations. Why?
Well, when you become an adult, you let us know.
No. I don't want to.
I will bend you over my knee.
Ham gravy.